Guys, Andrew Tate thinks he's next. Yeah, so he thinks there's a list, and I think he thinks there are a group of people on that list, and for some reason we ought to help him be on the lookout because they are also after his life. Yeah, I mean, it was so weird because I thought I was going to hear him say something about, oh my god, he's sending prayers and thoughtful wishes to Charlie Kirk's family, but he just had to come in there and slid in, oh, they tried to take my life, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. And I know, yeah, it's important, but coming from Andrew Tate, like a red pill, like a toxic masculinity, like a anti-feminism. I'm not even a feminist, but come on, it's Andrew Tate. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of A Thin Line with Vivian. I am your host, Vivian. If this is your first time tuning in, hello and welcome. If you are a returning listener here on YouTube or on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts, hi and welcome again. Thank you so much. I told you guys I was going to post on Wednesdays and Saturdays by the grace of God. And I'm actually recording this on a Monday because I feel like, and I thought that if I should push it to recording on a Wednesday, things would get rough here and there. So I was just let me just cave in and record today because I feel like I really like what I'm about to talk about today because it has the name Andrew Tate. And this was my first time seeing Andrew Tate so calm, collected, speaking about, oh my god, they're chasing my life, I'm on the list. Charlie Kirk was even a nice guy. Guys, it's like after the death of Charlie Kirk, we have the leaders, the red pill gangs being on the lookout, oh my god, we have to watch our back. And the way Andrew Tate described Charlie Kirk, he made it in a way saying that, oh, he knows that on the subject, every subject that Charlie Kirk touched on, he was trying to be a nice guy, that Charlie Kirk was not even as inflammatory as he is. So Andrew Tate is aware that most times he promotes crap. This is not even about opinions. This is about you've been promoting toxic masculinity and bullshit. Then you are aware that, oh, someone else is there telling people get married, get kids, don't go 50-50 with your wife, and honor your wife, she's your crown and stuff like that. And this person to you is a nice guy that got shot and people care about him. Then people should just come, and for whatever reason, I feel I'm so sorry. If anything, God forbid, was to happen to Andrew Tate, do you really think it's going to be about public opinion? Let's be serious. Public opinion. Do you think it's just going to be the LGBTQ that are going to be happy about his death? Or you're going to be looking at the entire feminine human race? And maybe a touch of men who have feminine side to them, what they call this feminine energy in a masculine man also. Those emotional men and caring fathers and thoughtful kings who also tap into their emotional sides. Because look, for Kevin Samuels and Andrew Tate, this is beyond opinion. It's not opinion, it's not dialogue, it's not debate. But now he's making it look as if, I also give out my opinions, and these people, I'm even rushing, guys. I usually watch the Poor Man podcast because that's also someone who's anti-feminism, and his statements are clear. Sometimes he makes meaningful sense because he's married, and I'm praying the marriage it's a successful, non-toxic marriage. And sometimes he's off in his thinking. So he had an episode, I think sometime last week, because this is Monday, and I don't even know the date because I can't check because I'm using my phone to record. Don't worry, when I make money, I'm going to get a podcast mic and a laptop. But for now, we walk by faith and not by sight. See, I still have kata, so just running nose and stuff like that. Bear with me, please. So the podcast was titled "Someone Tried to Take Andrew Tate's Life." Yes. And as soon as the podcast started playing, Andrew Tate was being interviewed by a Mario Norfolk. I've never heard of the guy's podcast or show before. I don't know where it was. This was my first time listening to it on the Paul Man podcast. And he was telling Andrew Tate that, oh, I saw your tweets and you were saying something about someone targeting your life. That what do you mean about that? And Andrew Tate was just like one calm guy trying to put out his manifesto for the next election. And he was like, oh, there is a list. It's not only Charlie Kirk. They are coming for the rest of us on the list. For you to even know that there is a rest of you, that's a miracle. Because I'm sure, and a few of the people, he called one Nick something, I don't know the guy because I don't even listen to this toxic masculinity rubbish. And I was thinking, he said him, Donald Trump, Charlie Kirk, God rest his soul, and he didn't mention Kevin Samuels. He didn't mention that other one that has like a small head. God, I thought I knew this guy's name. That one time was in a country and teenagers were passing by and they were like, yeah, fuck women. And he was like, no. But he was always the one promoting toxic masculinity. This one has like he looks like he's Mexican, but he has like a small head. And I don't even care to remember his name right now. So Andrew Tate was like, oh, there's a list and there's the rest of us there. That we no longer live in an era of civilized discourse. Look, I'm sorry. I know Andrew Tate is not a fan of Jordan B. Peterson, who is someone I would say, oh, practice a bit of, not even a bit, Jordan Peterson practiced civilized discourse. And I don't see Andrew Tate as someone who ever practiced any civilized discourse. I don't see it. I don't know. I've not heard anything civilized in his own or a discourse, because I know he was pushing on a certain type of anger, a certain type of dominating behavior for men towards women, and now he's calling it a civilized discourse. I don't know if it's coming from the fact that someone was shot and it happened to be by someone who, according to what the news say, Charlie Kirk's killer had a transgendered partner, so which makes his killer part of like the LGBTQ community. So that means, and they are both males, because for him to have like a transgendered partner, it means a man trying to wear a wig and pull off the image of a female. So I think Andrew Tate has seen that he would have been better off spreading love than spreading hate, because now the hate did not just touch women. It has sprinkled and drizzled upon men whom Andrew Tate refers to as people who want to wear wigs and pass out as women. So he knows that if someone should raise a gun at him, we're not just going to be breaking red pills, because look, a lot of people will just say, God forbid, oh my God, they shot Andrew Tate, and we're like, oh, okay. Like, we'll just turn off the news and people will not go onto social media except those who are really, really bold. But millions, if not billions of people will rejoice outside of social media, and then we come back and still talk about, oh, Charlie Kirk, because Andrew Tate, bruh. I don't even know what I'm going to say about Kevin Samuels, but So Andrew Tate went on to say that these people lack spirits and souls. Guys, it's Andrew Tate. These people lack spirits and souls. I'm like, who is he referring to? Because the killer is a male, and the killer's partner is also a male trying to portray being a woman. And you promote like toxic masculinity, so these are males hunting you down. And when you were speaking, you also lack spirit and souls in most of your quote unquote civilized discourse towards women, as to how they ought to be treated, as to how money works in the case of love. And there was no spirit and soul there, just like someone trying to max trauma in toxic masculinity. I think you're part of the banner of the red pill. Your flag is waving, but you say these people lack spirit and souls, and they believe that anyone who says a word that counters their narrative deserves a bullet in the neck. Yes, Charlie Kirk's death is still about opinions and dialogue, But do you see how, God rest his soul, his death is also putting some sense into those who thought by just being bold and promoting hate, that's good, that's fine. Now he sees that it's not everybody who is interested in being a masculine man. There are some people in the LGBTQ community who just want freedom to practice putting a penis in another penis man anus. So I think it's now ringing a bell in his head that, oh my God, for it to be a male taking out Charlie Kirk, I wasn't just talking to the females. I wasn't just trying to spread trying to make emasculated males. I wasn't just trying to put females in their position and humble them. There are males who want to practice being in the feminine energy, and they also have me in their list. I'm like, wow. And he goes on to say, that's Andrew Tate goes on to say, Charlie Kirk was killed for being the good guy, for being the nice guy. He hasn't even nearly been as inflammatory as I have with many subjects. So you know that the subjects you call civilized discourse, trying to pose out as opinions now, were inflammatory. You know that you've said a couple things that spread hate. And for them to take out someone who was trying to spread love, opinions, truth, and confidence, your own death is going to be like a firing squad. Like if they took out like Charlie Kirk, God rest his soul, with one bullet, yours is going to have sprinkles. And you might not even have people mourning for you, because half the men you think or you thought you were talking to are not all masculine. Half of them. So if there's 150 might be normal men. Inside that 50, you have like 10 who are struggling with toxic masculinity. Then in the other 50, you have like 20 who are now in the LGBT community and their brains do not work anymore. Then you have 30, they don't even know. Andrew Tate still goes on to say that they tried to kill Donald Trump, and they tried to kill Nick Fontes, and that's how they also tried to kill him. Yes, guys, that last month, August, someone came up to his property, putting on a vest, pretending to be a builder, and the person tried to gain access into Andrew Tate's home, and when he was stopped, because he was with a blade, and they were asking him to identify himself, because he was unable to get access to Andrew Tate and he was caught early, he began slashing himself randomly or slashing his knife randomly so that he could be allowed to pass through and go into Andrew Tate's house. So I'm like, after this story, like, do you expect like sympathy? Because I know that, I mean, we've single mothers have been through more, like women who have been abused by some of this your red pill inflammatory toxic masculinity men have been through worse. Women have been killed. Women have sons whom you speak to about women, and you have whatever you say being promoted from different places going into the ears of young boys. And now you know some of those boys are wearing wigs and you claim to be on the list. Don't you think you should just be like, hey guys, like, I know I've said some shit, and I know now you guys want to wear wigs and pretend to be feminine, but just know that I love you. If you come back to being a masculine, there's no probes. Why are you now saying these people are not up for civilized discourse? Because if women were to have asked you to have civilized discourse with us, you wouldn't have wanted to, because you feel like women were objects and not your fellow human beings. But here you are telling us of how someone tried to assassinate you last month. I didn't even hear about this shit until he decided to use the death of Charlie Kirk to like, okay, put it out there. I was almost also assassinated. Like, guys, you could see it on Andrew Tate's face. Like, he was trying to be like composed, oh, I'm a red pill, and he still had the energy to look so emotional while saying, guys, there's a future kill list. He is there, Obama is there, Nick Fuentes is there, Donald Trump is there, and he was like, oh, Charlie Kirk was there. I'm like, how do you know the list? How do you know names on the list? How do you know these people? Like, you didn't call Kevin Samuels. I mean, like, I'm just saying the list is not complete, because I don't see how Donald Trump should be there. But that doesn't concern me, because like I said, I'm in Nigeria, and a lot of things happening in the United States, but it's baffling. And he goes on to say that he would argue that there are very few people like Charlie Kirk and him who had voices for masculine youth. Okay, so you're saying that everything you've been saying was to help the youth, the male youth, become a masculine man, not through love, but through dehumanizing the feminine woman. Well, in the words of Andrew Tate, these people are forgetting the objective reality because they want men to wear wigs and be able to accept that they can identify as a woman. So you see, we've gone past trying to humble women to trying to save what's left of the male gender on planet Earth. It's no longer, oh, guys do not want to get married anymore, people do not want to give birth. It's now guys are no longer available. Like, it's no longer men are scarce, because there's a thing they say in Nigeria that, oh, men are scarce. And whenever you hear people say that men are scarce, usually young girls looking to get married or aunties looking to just frustrate people who are in their 30s. They mean like, oh, you don't find a lot of good men around, and that is objectifying like what it means to be a good man. They just sometimes feel like, oh, as far as he has a penis, he has a job that pays, he's qualified to be a husband. So whenever, even if he beats you, even if he embarrasses you, even if he's a homosexual, that's using love as a means of survival, men are scarce, you should take whatever trash you've seen. It's no longer men are scarce in that sense. It's now men are scarce in the sense that men are now into wigs. No more styling gel, no more jerry coiling hair, no more flay trousers, no more tight tube tops. It's men are now interested in wigs. So men as a gender are scarce. The men as transgender are more. So now it's now a masculine issue, where now men are asking for the women or for the world to see if they can save the rest of the men who are left. And I feel like, who are you asking precisely? Because the world is, they said this is a man's world. That's what everybody remembers, but no one remembers the ending of that lyrics that said, but it will mean nothing without a woman in it. Everyone goes about saying, nye, 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 nye. Oh, she's a gold digger if she wants money and if she cannot take you for who you are. Nobody talks about the homosexuals who are just there to date females to survive. And they've never been rich in their life. They just jump from one survival relationship to the next. And I've seen physical evidence of such men in their 40s, in their 50s, looking miserable as hell. But now that men are now having Botox, getting boob jobs, changing wigs, and holding guns, it's now like, oh, the world is not ready for civilized discourse. Remember, not every man could take a woman who didn't want to be on her natural hair and she wanted to go into wigs, and they say, oh, she belongs to the streets. Now the streets is filled with wigs without women faces or heads on it, but men. So now Charlie Kirk is dead. and Andrew Tate is looking for protection. He's putting himself out there like, oh, I was among the few voices for a masculine environment for younger men, and now they've taken out one of us, and this was a good guy. So he knows that he's like calling Charlie Kirk like, oh, this was like a blue pill who wanted to do like everything for a woman. Not like, oh, this was a man who had a wife and children, but no, this was like a guy who didn't even say much inflammatory things as I did, and they've taken him out. How much more me? And I'm like, if they shoot you, Andrew Tate, bro, word on the streets will be much less. Like, bro, I keep telling you, it's not the LGBTQ who are gonna be bothered. Like, it's gonna be like, I'm telling you, Andrew Tate, ain't nobody got time for your shit. But we just hope they don't take you out. We just hope there is no list. Because if there is a list, America is... I mean, we're like, what? How many months to December? Naturally, guys, I already hate this year, 2025. I don't know why. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's just me. But I don't know if you've observed, whenever we enter into like a year that it's about, like, I don't know how to explain it, all these defining years, 2020 corona, 2025 that everybody is going to be like, oh my god, the great 2025. This is the most boring, the most annoying, this year is full of shit. I don't know if this year is going out fine for you, but I thank God. I just can't wait to wrap it up 2025. Get the fuck out of here. Mind my language. I'm not even a fan of this year. I feel like, and what 2020 has shown me, and this 2025, bruh, I'm not anticipating 2030. Like, by God's grace, I pray God's mercy we all see 2030. But to say, where do you see yourself in 5 years? That question should not even cross my ear. Because I saw myself 5 years prior to that, and I'm like, what's this? But, guys, I just thought to share with you how I feel about hearing Andrew Tate have nothing else to say except, oh, Charlie Kirk was a nice guy. Like, not in the sense like, oh, he's a nice guy, I appreciate him, I saw what he did. No, they took out the nice guy, the guy who didn't even say much bad things as me, and I think I'm on the list. But all I want you guys to know is I was having like a civilized discourse. That's nice. That's nice to see toxic masculinity being defined and protected under the shield of a civilized discourse. I just hope like there isn't a list, because bro, if they take Andrew Tate, that's like you get what I'm saying. Like, it's a civilized discourse. That's what we all gonna be having. Just like, hey, they took, okay. Guys, pray for America. Pray for America. Like, I haven't even visited the place, but I was always anticipating like Tennessee, Texas, New York, Washington DC, all these nice places, and now you're hearing this. I'm looking, like, I keep looking, I'm like, God. And have you seen the news? Like, I saw on the Poor Man's podcast about people who are moving from Democrats and Republicans, from the left now to the right, and I saw a lady who said on TikTok that the good thing is that Charlie Kirk is not even a martyr, that his death is not going to be martyred, so nobody would care. And I'm seeing like Asian countries, the UK, they had a whole rally, guys. You know when someone says shit, and that shit is not what they expected, and now they look totally stupid on TikTok. I'm like, guys. I think my niece even showed me someone on WhatsApp telling her that, Charlie Kirk deserved to die because he said a lot of hurtful things and this one. And the way the guy was explaining everything, you would know that he got most of his definitions on Reddit. And I just told my niece that whenever someone says all this shit, find out if Charlie Kirk said these things. Because the Poor Man podcast was saying that most people are saying that, oh, Charlie Kirk said empathy is not necessary. And he was like, people only take out one line out of a whole sentence, which he said he doesn't believe in empathy because he doesn't believe that everybody can feel excuse me guys, what a particular person is going through, that he would rather adopt the word sympathy. But nobody saw that side, and everybody is like, oh, this guy said he should not have empathy, also he deserves to die. Like, so now that they've seen that, oh, they took out Charlie Kirk. Please, if you hear any noise in the background, I'm in my room, and next to my room is the parlor, and I'm still going to do what I have to do, and I'm almost done. So now that they've seen how much Charlie Kirk's death has impacted the world, not just the United States, I feel now the LGBTQ know that people do not really accept them, their agenda, for who they are and for what they stand for. Everyone knows that that is just like a demon lurking his head until it is able to get prisoners out of prison cells and make death an official manifesto on earth. But God forbid, because we will trash it out. I think there's even a part of the Bible that says, and they become lovers of themselves. Fathers doing rubbish. Like, the Bible, like, this is me paraphrasing it, but the Bible is truly a word, a book, a place that has written down all these things, and we just see them manifest bits and pieces here and there. Guys, pray for America. Keep praying for Erica Kirk. Pray for her kids. Pray for everyone. And if you're a fan of Andrew Tate, hey, pray for him. Like guys, I don't know, but we still stand on the positions that opinions should not get people killed. And yeah, so if you're not following me on YouTube, it's the same name, A Thin Line with Vivian, on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube and you're wondering why I have just 2 audio episodes and 1 video episode, it's because I abandoned the channel. Like, we have those days and those moments. So, but the podcast has other episodes you can listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast episode. So yes, guys, thank you so much for your love, your support. Thank you for all the listenings. I'm super grateful. When I make it and I get like a mic and like a laptop, bro, you gonna know that I've blown. You just know that I'm popular. But it's happening soon by God's grace. So yes, guys, until next time on A Thin Line with Vivian, I am your host, Vivian Inteo. Stay blessed.